What is up, everyone? I'm getting started in just a minute here. I've just got to finish updating our home page to show myself live. Working on it. Should be done in just a second. Okay, any second now that'll go live on Gymnasium.com. I am just about ready. Okay, let's do this thing. What's up, y'all? I am Mike Bifulco. I am technical director for Gymnasium.com, thegymnasium.com, both work. We are a free online video-based self-paced code and design and tooling and technical skills school. We have all kinds of great courses that you can go and check out on our website, 24/7 available to you to start and take at your own speed. They're free, they're wonderful, they're taught by people who practice what they preach. All of our instructors are currently working with the tools and technologies that they teach on. You should go and check out some of these courses. I would recommend heartily giving any of them that you find interesting a shot. Off the cuff here, the Information Design and Visualization Fundamentals course is a great data viz course taught by head of data visualizations at the New York Times. Cites some really cool use cases and case studies that the New York Times had for data viz stuff. And it's a phenomenal course. You should go and give it a look, and we'd love to hear what you think of it. I am here now because every Tuesday I hop on to Twitch to stream my life for you, my job. I'm here in my home office. I'm working on rebuilding Gymnasium.com using Gatsby. Gymnasium is part of Gymnasium.com. So Gymnasium is based on OpenEdX, which is an open source MOOC, massive online open classroom. And we are moving up to the next version of OpenEdX, and with that we're also redoing our front end such that we are switching from using Django, Python, and a smattering of maybe less up-to-date and less friendly to update web technologies to front end using Gatsby and React. You can come and check it out. It's on our GitHub. You can look at what I'm working on. It's called Gym Front End under the Gymnasium organization. And I've been working on this on stream and off for a couple of months now, and it's coming along, and we're really just getting to the point where we're really making fast progress on things. So if I open up localhost 8000, nothing will show because I'm not running the app, of course. Let me close this tab. If I run the app, it'll light up, and we will see what I'm doing is recreating Gymnasium's homepage, which we were working on last week, from React here. So Gatsby, if you're unfamiliar with it, is a React-based static site generator. It can do a lot more than just generate static sites, and that's maybe one of the misnomers about it. We are taking advantage of quite a bit of modern React and Gatsby stuff. And hoping to basically create a workflow where, as the sort of developer on the team, I can work with our designer, Justin, who is often on chat, probably is right now. Yes, he sure is. To basically have a workflow where we can collaborate on things and he can get designs into action faster than we have been able to before. And I can keep things up to date and secure and try more experimental things more quickly, more than we were able to do in the past. This should also help with our deployment workflow and a number of other things. And so now, if I open up localhost 8000, we'll see. Bada bing. So this is what the homepage is starting to look like right now. There's a bit missing here, which we'll go over, but last week, well, I'll show you the pages it's already done. If I go to view all courses, oops, that is not a link yet. If I go to the courses page, you'll see that we've got a nice courses page with some gym shorts and some full courses and content being populated from our CMS and a layout that looks like it should, and all kinds of goodness in here. And so we are continuing this work. There's some CMS work to be done here by way of adding content to the courses list, but what we want to do is continue on this homepage and work on some of the things that I had mentioned we were going to touch last week on stream, and continue that work and hopefully get a lot of this stuff done. In particular, I would like to get this section done, the featured courses section. I would like to get the as seen in section done, and then mock out the middle of the app here where our dynamic content will go. This is the find work section, and I'll show you some tricks that we're going to use to get that dynamic content to work. That is maybe the big secret about using Gatsby for dynamic stuff, and then I will press forward. After that, I think we'll get into navigation work. We might revisit the footer, and we might start to play around with some dynamic loading content for whether or not someone is logged in, so we can mock out the different versions of the header for logged in and logged out content. But with that being said, let's jump into the code. Let's see what we can do to play around with what's here right now, and I'll go through and review a bit of what we had been doing as I work on the new stuff. So, if I open up VS Code, I can go into lovely. Okay, so we're going to look at all these different, many of these different components will come up. We're going to start by looking at the featured course section and how that works, as well as the featured course component, because we'll be, of course, working on this today. And you can see, oops, oh boy, all right, I'm going to close some tabs. I'm going to close this tab. The one on the right is the new world, my current working environment. The one on the left is Gymnasium.com as it lives right now. And you can see, if I highlight this featured courses section, well, for starters, it doesn't yet have a header, but also the featured course itself doesn't look right. And so we've got some work cut out for us to make that look as it should. So let's do that. All right. First, I'm going to start by pulling up the featured course section, which has its own component. We spent some time last week breaking things onto their own components so that we could make the home page easier to look at. So I'm gonna leave this easier to look at, easier to parse on the code side. So if I go to pages and index, which is the home page, you'll see it's pretty simple to get through. There's how it works. There's the featured courses section, which gets past a list of courses. There's find work. There's as seen in, and then the footer is rendered as a part of the layout. So header and footer, I should say. So this is sort of the content part of the page. The SEO bit here renders the title tag, so this home here, and what we can do is we can start to fill in the blanks for this featured course section. So let's take a look at the query we've got here. We've got featured course section. Sorry, I just got jumped by my cat. Featured course section, we plug in courses, which we're getting from props passed in through data.takeshape. That is our CMS, which we get access to from this data query here. And we're grabbing the full course list, and for each of those courses, we should be rendering a featured course. It doesn't look like we're doing that right now because, oh no, it does, in fact, because we have one full course listed, and so that highlights a bit of an issue, maybe, a problem with our CMS strategy right now, or with that query strategy. So let me show you how these things exist in our CMS. So right now, you should be able to see this. We have a few different content types. We have full courses, and gym shorts are probably the most relevant to this discussion. And these are two different types of courses that we host on Gymnasium that have two different metadata structures around them. And so right now we're only really looking at the full course list. So there's only one full course, but we see that in this query, and it's being sent up to the featured courses component. And so that's why we only see one course. I think in the future, what we're going to end up doing is adding a content type. So we have two choices. We can either add a content type for featured courses, or we can add a flag to both the full course and gym short content types, so that we can toggle them on as a featured course, and then we can do some work on the Gatsby side to layer those bits of data together and display them together. I'm uncertain what's going to be the best approach. I think the flag might be easiest at first. I think we can work with that. That may change in the future, but again, one of the nice things about this approach that we're taking now is that it's all very flexible. So let's try that. We're going to do a full course. We're going to add an on-off checkbox. We're going to call this featured, and the description will be, if true, this course will show up on the featured courses list on the Gymnasium home page. Great. We're going to call that featured. Actually, we're going to call it is featured. I like that lately for denoting Boolean values. And actually, I should give that a default of false. Default value. Does it not let me choose? Maybe not. Okay, fine. So now if I go into my Coding for Designers course, I can grab this is featured. Ooh, and it'd be nice to have a little more UI there. That's okay. I'd imagine this shows. Yeah, okay. Well, we can work with that. Is featured. We'll save this one as featured for now. I'm not even going to update the query, but that's what we'll use in the future. So a few things here that I see. We're going to make this a more complicated component kind of from the onset. So I'm going to change this from just a function that returns an object to actually a full-fledged function call with a whole return bit. And I'm going to say if not courses, return null. We don't want to show this if there are no courses being passed into this guy. That also means we can simplify this. Hopefully. Yeah, cool. Okay. Lovely. We've got our list of featured courses here. What was missing before, the thing that sort of made me step back, is that there was no header for it. And we would like a header. We would like it to say featured courses and to have these horizontal border behind it. So let's see how we do that currently, and we will mimic that. So I'm going to use my inspector to grab this. Ooh, once it catches up with me. Okay. So we have an H1 that is in a header with a text center before the section. Okay. So we're going to have to call this a fragment. And another fragment. Great. And we're going to put in our H1 here. And it's going to say featured courses And we're probably going to need to update some styles here. We're going to give this a class. And we will text transform uppercase. We'll do font family var gym font stack. And what else? We'll mess with some borders and things in a second here. Great, it needs a font weight. It needs font size. And I can already see we're going to need to use a variable here, so we should pull up our how it works section and this associated style rule. 1.5 rem. Let's make sure that actually works. Yep, and text align center. Actually, those are not, in fact, the same size. Whoa, and we got ourselves some warnings too. Each child on the list should have a unique key prop in the featured course section. That is a common problem. We'll fix that prop type. I thought this would do it. Featured course section. Something in featured course section is rendering an array, and it's not quite happy with it yet. Let's see. Check the rendered method of featured course section. So we shall. Oh, maybe there's no ID coming in here. So we're going to go to our home page. Please, please. We're going to go down to the bottom. We're going to go to the courses, items, and pass in an ID here, because that apparently is not coming in. Great, no warnings. Okay, that's better. So, I wanted this open so that I could check out why these font sizes are different. One day, come on. Boy, I must have too much open here. Okay, well, closed as much as I could. Let's see what's going on with font sizes. Okay, this has a font size of 1.5 rems. This has a font size, oh, I looked at the H2 and not the H1, of 20 point. Should make it a little better. Yeah, okay, those are identical now, and we obviously want to put some spacing above it. Some top padding. Some bottom padding. now we need to accomplish this neat horizontal line across, which we shall do. By the way, I apologize if you hear lots of background noise today. There's some light demolition going on next door, which is quite noisy. Okay, text center, header tab. Got it. So there's a header around the H1. Got it. Yes, that makes good sense too. This will also let us split up some of these CSS rules into a more logical. So we're going to do great. Okay. So we'll do it like this, and now we no longer need that class. And we're gonna say all the fonty stuff can go here. Text align stuff can go there. And the border, actually I don't know if it was 1 pixel, 2 pixel solid, and CCC. Jim Gray. Uh-oh. We lost something there. Featured courses, title, container. Good. And featured courses, title, container, H1. Oh, is that... Why is it showing as not inside of... What am I looking at here? Oh, it would appear that my auto updater isn't working exactly right here. What is going on? Oh. One must save in order for files to update. Okay, that's better. Cool. So now we can look at how, assuming we're doing something like a height 0, or maybe this is display position relative. There we go. So let's do top -1 rem, margin, bottom 1 rem. See what happens. Kinda nothing. That didn't seem to do anything either. This might get a little tricky. Let's see what's going on. It may actually be that the header needs to be called out as a block. No, that didn't seem to help. Oh. Oh, very interesting. That's cool. Okay. Once we get the strike through effect, we will get that done. Ah, it's that padding. Okay. Those should be margin, maybe. Yeah, nice. Okay. And that border should just be top. Cool. Okay, so now we have this strike through bit going on. We're now going to give the H1 a background color. Nope. 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 How's this done? H1. Background. Position relative. Display inline block. And then background. White. Okay. What just happened? Oh, I have it highlighted. Okay, and then we're going to say padding 0 for right. Okay. That's maybe a little much, so we're going to go with 3. Oops, save. Two. How close do we get? No, I like 3. Sweet. That's lovely. Okay, so we've got our featured courses header. I'm going to give that one more space on top. And one less below. Apologies for my laptop being a bit slow while I do this. It's, as we have found, a bit of an inevitability while I stream, at least. Oh, what am I doing? Margin bottom. Okay, I like that spacing. We're gonna let this guy look like that. Now we've got to fix this god-awful looking featured course that I have cobbled together once upon a time. We've got all the content there. We've even got, well, not really a button, but we'll get a button there. And then we'll get this thing looking like it should, which right now it super doesn't. So let's start by changing Learn More into a button. So I'm going to close these components that I had open. We're going to open up featured course, and we're going to open up, ooh, this doesn't even have its own CSS yet. Wait, it does. We're just apparently not including it. Okay, that's cool. We might need that one day. For now, we'll shrinkify this over to here. This Learn More needs to be a button. So this is going to be a gym button in here. I think that's all I need to do. Oh, I changed the wrong thing. That, of course, is the title, which doesn't say learn more, like the part that says learn more, which does say learn more. Oh my goodness, this thing is slowing me down today. Come on, RAM. What else can I shut down here? I, in truth, don't have a lot of stuff running on my machine right now. It's all the streaming software. Okay, now it at least says learn more. Nice. Okay, we can work from there. So, in theory, we're being passed a course for this featured course. Is that right? Yeah. We can. Let's show off something here. So, there's this React Components extension, which I have enabled. I can come up to here and highlight a course and go to featured course, and we can see the course that's passed into it and all the stuff that comes along with it. So we've got course type, display name, and color. So first we're going to steal that color. So equals course type. Oops. And we are going to color the top section of this guy. Oh, actually, we need the display name, too. Well, you know what? If that's the case, we're just going to, for sake of clarity, we will use both of them directly. So what I'm seeing here is that I created lots of this stuff, I believe, long before we had really... this was one of the earliest things I had implemented on our Gatsby site, which means that this doesn't have a lot of the newer practices we're using for styling and whatnot. So that's why it doesn't have its CSS imported. That's why lots of this stuff is happening. So we're going to do that. We'll get to all of that. We know that... Oh, please. Come on. Oh, geez. We might experience what is known as a browser crash in a minute here. I might go away for a second if my laptop really crashes bad. All right, what we're looking for is... Oh my goodness. This is not going well. I'm clicking and it's not doing things. Let's refresh. We'll start there. Okay, we are looking for the top portion of this, which we need to give a background to. I'm, for the sake of it, going to assume that's the header, because this is not working well. So we're going to do class, actually we're going to do style equals header background style. For this, we need a JavaScript object which has a background color that contains a string that has my course type dot color, which I believe comes in as a hex. We're gonna find out. My God. Let's see if I can figure out what's taking up all of my processing here. this is painful. And again, also I apologize for all of the background radiation noise of demolition going on next door. Oh boy. Okay, what is taking up all of my RAM? We'll kill that. We'll kill that. We'll kill that. And what else? What else? What else? Close a couple of tabs here. Just trying to get any RAM back that I can. But it looks like I've got a few different gigantic processes running. All right. Hopefully that didn't break everything. We're gonna try that. All right. Really, what I'm looking for is some better speed here. Okay. So this header we want to give a background color to. And it doesn't seem to be working. Header should have a style. Let's give this a display block. Just for good measure. Just so I can see something that style is being applied. Okay, got it. So I got the course type.color is incorrect. So let's look at that again. Okay, course type. It's color.rgb or something like that, isn't it? Oh dear. All right, course type.color.hex is what I want. .hex. Now we no longer need that display, and we also don't need the debugger. If I can hit my up arrow, thank you. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Great. So we're gonna do do like that. Do this, and we're gonna start playing around with some of this stuff. A lot of these classes are going to go away. That's okay. I don't know why that didn't change color. Okay, we'll do a few things here. So max width 25%, that should help. This is CSS and not JavaScript, so that should be like that. Then we'll do featured course list item header color white. No? Anyone? What really is happening here? Seems to be an awful lot going wrong. Mm-hmm. Right. For sure that should... Have I not saved? What's the problem here? Ah, okay. Already. We're back to business. Great. Alright. So, we're already making progress here. We want the footer, which has a gray background from card.scss. Ah? Oh. Got it. Card.scss must be a bootstrap thing. I don't think we need to use that. Problem comes from all of these courses that are in here, or all these classes that are in here. Oops. We're going to get rid of all these class names because none of these are really being used at the moment intentionally. And I think I grabbed all these classes from the existing deployment. We can come close to it. There are obviously a few different approaches we could take. And there are certainly more semantic ways of doing this. Like this div, which is called a footer, should maybe be a footer. That sounds nice. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do this. Oh man, a laggy IDE makes it really hard to do anything. Byline. All these class names are likely here for a reason, so we should use them. Wow, look at that. Already we've got some color coming in. It's not the right color. Don't know why. Don't know why it's black. That's interesting. Compelling, perhaps? Oh, because it is a footer. Right. Okay. So we've got some fixing to do here. So we want to go into footer.js and keep that open. And over here we're going to open footer.module.css. Nope, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Come on. Okay, now here we're gonna say I'm gonna do a tricky thing here. This is gonna be .site footer. And this is going to be .site footer h2, and this here. These looks like they should be generic rules. Get rid of those. Okay, and we're going to go into the global and get those link rules into place. We're going to break and unbreak a bunch of stuff here. Holy God, what did I do? Just breaking everything. Gotta hit save. What? Don't be ridiculous. Where'd this roll go? Snipe footer. Ah, that should have 2 S's. Why is it not complaining? There we go. Wow, it's really, really far behind me. Okay, good, good, good. That unbroke some stuff. Now, I'm going to go back and grab that UL rule and the LI rule, because those seem global. We're going to save that. Great. Okay. We're making some progress. A few steps forward and a few steps back, it seems. Man, I'm really frustrated by how slow this is today. What the heck is going on? I probably should have rebooted before I started streaming today. Usually I just close Slack and life gets better, but that has not been the case today. Huh, okay. Well, we'll suffer through it for a bit longer before I really freak out here. So, let's start to play around with what else goes on in these cards. We can do that easy enough. Oh man, maybe we can. Oh man. I wish those dev tools would have opened in the right window. Dear Apple, please give me a laptop with like 4 times as much RAM. You know this Pro thing I have? We got a border? No, the border is around the card. Okay. Well, we can get out of the footer and the global. Okay, we've added a border now. Cool. We're going to give the whole thing a padding, I think. We have to do that from within the header, don't we? And the footer. Nice. Okay, that's already starting to look better. Seems like there's a lot of extra space here. Ooh. That should be Ah, okay. Took a second. It looks like I keep recreating this H1 style, this sort of like general style. What I think I need to do is put this into a component. Okay. We're going to call that component H1 seems bad, so I'm going to go with title text, because it might not always fall in an H1 on a page, syntactically speaking. So let's make a new component. We will create a folder. We'll do all the things. We've done this before. Maybe that should just be title. Yeah, we're going to go with title, because it might not contain just text in some world in the future. Oh, please. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is so slow. You guys, I'm losing my mind with how slow this is right now. So this title component is going to be any text that looks like this anywhere on the site, and we'll give overrides to change the styles if we need to. Oops, props. So we'll do H1. Man, we don't know if it's always going to be an H1, do we? Do span. We did this trick before, actually. We'll default to an H1. So, okay. We've done this before. All right. Okay, so we're going to return I think this is the way to do it. Okay, component children perfect. Okay, so what's going on here? Oh, not much. You all right? So we need to. What's the problem? Comma expected. You bet. All right, we're going to import classes from classes dot title. All right, and then we're going to do. Yeah, okay. There's going to be some work to do here. I need to close some stuff right now. So this component will render whatever's passed in as children to this thing using an H1 or a component if one is overridden. It's going to be given a class name from here. default, it'll be black. Okay, and we're going to give it the opportunity to add class name to this. And if they do, we're going to do object.assign classes.title. So we'll do this. Empty thing, classes.title, and class name. No, that's not right. This is just a string. So this is going to be class name or nothing. And then we're going to put our class in front of it. So it'll be classes.title. Cool. Okay, so what is that? That's a string that says this variable, classes.title, which we have as these styles. And then another CSS class of class name if there's one passed in, or nothing if there's not something passed in. So we should add some prop types here. We're going to say title.prop types equals children prop types.node. We're going to say component prop types dot component, maybe? I forget what that should be. And then we're going to do class name prop types dot string. And that should do. So now in this featured course, if we want to have the title, this guy, look like it should, we're going to say in the featured course, one more thing we need to do. In the components index.js, in here, we're going to export that. Okay. What does that do? Nothing yet. We have to include it. Let's grab it. So what we're trying to say is here, theoretically, oh yeah, no, nothing. We just freaking broke everything. Typo declared in prop type component. Okay. Prop types dot element type. Okay. Cool. Okay. We're going to use that exact pattern. So in the title here, I knew this was familiar. Okay, so we're defaulting to an H1 here. We're giving it a class name as desired, and then rest is any other props that may be passed into here, which may be appropriate in some cases. And look at that, we have our uppercase. We don't have the right font. We have to do font family var gym font stack. Okay, font weight 900. Cool. Okay. So now how do we make this white? Well, the reason that we gave this override here for That's the wrong one. No, that was the right one. Cool. The reason that we did this override for class name is so that I can pass a class name into the title component I'm using. And in here, in featured course module CSS, oh my god, as I get every freaking text in the world, I can say course title, color, var, gym white, and save it, and that should blink over to white. It did not. Ah, it was overridden. Okay. Maybe order matters here. Does that not make a difference? Okay, how would we override that then? Maybe actually the way to do is not to declare a color here and let it inherit a color. Then everywhere else it'll just inherit color like you normally would. So where else can we use this to prove that it might work? Well, we can go into our featured course section and do this title. That should look exactly the same. It does. Yep, cool. That worked. We can look for how Gymnasium work. Actually, wait, before I do that, I should go into this module CSS, look for the thing where I defined that style. Come on. Where I defined this style rule with all this nonsense, which is now redundant. Great. And now I can look for how Gymnasium works. Here, this can be title. And we can grab title from here. In theory, that won't break. And then we can go into the CSS file here. Grab all that H1 stuff that I did, which looks so familiar by now. Have it all still work. Nice. Okay. That's getting cleaner already. We can now do these find work and as seen in. Cool. Great. Yeah, cool. Okay, so anywhere where that happens, I should be able to use that title tag now. And that's already starting to come together pretty well. So, boy, an important thing to realize as you're going through this is that like that refactor that I did, just going and plugging that in a bunch of different places, is an important part of the process. So realizing that I was repeating a bunch of code and rewriting that style rule all over the place, and then going back and getting rid of that repeated code, that revision, the refactor, is an important part of putting yourself in a place where your code base is maintainable. So like this is the canonical thing in building software, but what I can do now in the future is if we decided that title was going to be something different, I could come into this title class and update it here, right? So I can update every title on the site all of a sudden with whatever I want. So if we decided we needed a different font for our titles, we could do this. That didn't work, but thank God, right? But now it becomes trivial to change all the titles on the site, whereas before I was putting myself in a bad place. And thank God I apparently don't have Comic Sans on here. So we're already getting better. So now we have a title on here. We want to add the, subtitle, probably? So we want to add this, an in-depth, blah, 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 which I called on a full course likely the short description. It looks like that is called, short description. And the short description should be passed in. Let's close a bunch of this stuff. My goodness, okay. So below the title, the subtitle is not what it's called. It is called that, which hopefully we're passing in. We'll see in a second. Nope, apparently not. Courses. Let's see, how were we doing that? Featured course section was coming from the home page, where the query is, pages, index. All right. Once again, we're making progress. We got to get that typeface right, but we can do that. Let's drag this out here. We will give that is a paragraph the best semantic thing? Yeah, I guess it is. Okay, so we're going to copy the styles done up here. So where are we? Call it tagline. Actually, just be consistent. It's always helpful to be consistent. All right. For some reason that looks a little long to me, so I may need to add another field for that sort of featured text there. I don't know, it's been a while since we've had that course, this particular course as featured. But, and this needs to be turned into uppercase text and non-emboldened, it looks like. No, actually it's probably bold, yeah, okay. that's another one that's in Brandon. I'm just going to grab all these rules. And the font size doesn't look right. Please. Oh my goodness, please respond. Nice. Okay. Look at that majesty. I don't... so this string isn't right. Let me be the first to concede that. Developer Tools is not a course type we have. I can get that right. It should say Web Design and Development, which we can go and update here. Save, and while I'm at it, I can go add the other ones. User experience is in teal. Oh, green, what was green? Oh dear. Now I've done it. Now I've done it. Oh no, this is gonna crush me. Content creation. And then the teal one was user experience. We'll go add that in a second. There is one more, I believe. I'm gonna grab that color. Okay, we've got 92, 165, 160. Sweet. Okay. There's one more. I don't have it handy. We can go and pluck all of that content from the site somewhere. Ah, man. I'm really bummed that I navigated off of that page. Now when I go to navigate back to it, it's going to show me streaming. Okay, so well, let's review here. So this isn't perfect yet. There are a few changes that still need to happen here. Like I think this border might be dashed in some cases, or maybe there's a dashed border up here. I don't really remember offhand, and I don't want to go and look at it again. We're going to fill in a bunch of other featured courses and get those to show up. We're going to make sure all the colors are working. We need to... Oh, that Learn More button is wired up correctly. Let's get this View All Courses button to work, because I keep clicking that and it doesn't do anything. There's something called a... I guess it's just a link. Yeah, okay. Link to equals courses. Go. Now that does something. Oop, I didn't import link. And I did it backwards. Okay. Cool. All right. So this is all starting to come together. I think at this point I'm going to stop my stream for the day. We can clearly see that this page is coming together. I need to also go do some work and just add some content to the CMS so that we've got our all featured courses there. We can start to test responsivity. We can start to play around with tweaking some of these heights and things like that. And everything will start to fall in place. So the home page, if you go to gymnasium.com, you'll see the home page is starting to fall in line. We'll have how it works. Our featured courses is essentially done. The next thing is, so we have to do the bottom section of featured courses isn't completed yet. And then the next thing we'll do as seen in probably on stream next week. And then find work is already built, but it's in another project, and we need to move that to this project, which will require some doing. And I think that is probably an interesting adventure for on stream, only because there are some tricks to using dynamic content with Gatsby that I think are best saved for an actual walkthrough. It's something that I've done before by hook and by crook, and it was not apparent. And so we'll walk through it together, and I'll show you all how it works. But basically, at that point, we've got a home page, we've got a courses page, we've got a footer. We need to do the header. We need to do the course landing pages. So like this page is shortly to come, and all the static pages we need to do. Those will take a little bit of time as well, but shouldn't be as consuming as the rest. They're generally pretty simple. And then we're ready to really rock on with the grand experiment and start to integrate things together and fuss around with like logged in, logged out state, connecting the static site side to the dynamic LMS CMS side, and then we'll have a working running application where these things are integrated together. It's looking really good. Hopefully the code base is somewhat reasonable and we can start to iterate on it from here. I'm going to sign off for the day. Thanks for hanging out on the stream. It looks like quite a few people were able to join, so that's always a good thing. Feel free to subscribe to me on Twitch if you're here. Otherwise, we are live on Gymnasium every week around this time, except for next week. I will be on vacation drinking a cocktail out of a coconut on a beach somewhere. So I'll be back in 2 weeks, and we can pick up the experiment from there. You guys have a great afternoon. Thanks for hanging in. You're all wonderful people. I will be back in 2 weeks. Take care.